Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of The Truth Is Here. You are watching the Mahdi Has Appeared TV. There is a number on your screen. All those of you who are watching us on satellite and YouTube, do make use of it. Do call us. Let's talk. And all you on social media, as always, keep it clean, keep it respectful, and let's have a fruitful conversation. So, over the last few episodes, we've been discussing fairly important topics to do with the successorship, the wilaya, the sort of authority of God on earth. And today we are covering a topic which Aba Al-Sadiq, from whom his peace, mentioned in the last video he put out on the School of Divine Mysteries series on his channel, The Mahdi Has Appeared, on YouTube, which discusses the Pledge of Allegiance. And from this Pledge of Allegiance, we have a sign of signs for all the Muslims. And all the Muslims are aware of the black banners which rise from the east. Now, the reason this is so important, the main reason this is so important is like these black banners had always some kind of mystery to them. But if the people were to investigate what the Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam, the 12 Imams, had said about these black banners, then when they appear, they would all pursue it. They would all submit to it, and they would all understand what it represents. So, today's discussion, or today's topic, is the banner of this call, which is the banner of the Ahlul Bayt, the banner of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, on which it says, this is the black banner, on which it says, allegiances to God, al-bay'a lillah. Now, in my head, when I first heard this, I thought to myself, that's actually perfect. Like, there's literally nothing more important
than simple,
right?
Yeah.
Than that call. That literally, that screams out to you, and it makes you go, wait. Allegiance is to God.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's a confirmation that you've been waiting for, but you didn't know you've been waiting for, right? It's this declaration that, I mean, who can argue with it? And if you can argue with it, then I propose that you're actually not looking for God. You are happy with Satan. You want to be on the path of Satan, and you don't want God.
Yeah.
Simple. Right?
I mean, Aba Al-Sadiq, from his peace, and he raised this black banner, in 2015.
Yeah.
And written in there is allegiances to God.
For sure. Yeah.
And the thing to note here is that this has never, we've seen many black banners, We've seen black banners with La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. We've seen black banners with Allahu Akbar on there.
Yep.
But the thing is, no one in the last 1400 years has bought a banner. The only time this banner was raised was by Imam Ali al-Islam in one of the battles.
Yeah.
And it's described very perfectly in the narrations that it was a black banner, and on it was written allegiances to God.
Yeah.
And it was raised in that battle, and after that it was put away. And it was narrated by the Ahlul Bayt that the only time that this banner will come out will be with the Qaim.
Yeah,
and in the 1400 years that we have not seen a banner. We've seen many claimants, but this banner is unique, and this banner calls towards the truth, So the thing is, if a banner like this has not been raised before, and the only person to raise it, is Aba Al-Sadiq, from whom his peace. And the thing is, if anyone could have raised it before this, and he turned out to be false, then even the true claimant who would rise with this banner, how could anyone be sure that even with Bayat Allah written on there, that it can't be true?
Right.
So the thing is, if it can't be true, then the religion is not divinely protected.
Of course, and not only that, then basically, like, you literally have the biggest excuse when you face God.
Of course.
You say to God, you misguided us, you told us this, but then this happened, and then we were, we didn't know.
Yep. Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, because if someone claims it and it's false,
exactly,
then the narrations from the Al-Bayt, they become invalid for the future generations.
For sure.
Because they can't rely on them, because history will say, listen, even if we go by all these criteria and we tick all the criteria, there is a 1% chance that the claimant could be false.
For sure.
But the Al-Bayt are saying that this matter is guaranteed and is divinely protected.
Right.
No one can claim it except for the rightful claimant.
Right.
So if we, like you just said, brother, if anyone could claim it, then the thing is, and it's not divinely protected. It's pointless.
Exactly.
And the whole thing of religion and the whole point of religion literally has no meaning.
Yeah, like, and in addition to that, if it is a sign, right, and if it is a divine sign, then it's a meaningless sign. Yeah. Like, if somebody who's false can actually raise this banner, then what's the point in it being mentioned as a sign in the first place? Like, it's like, okay, there's a chance you can find the truth if you find this banner, but be careful, because there's also, like, false people who raise it. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. So on that level, right, all the narrations we've seen, right, allude to it being the banner of truth. And the banner of truth is an obligation to submit to. Now, one of the obligations is when the banners rise or are raised, you have to go to the banners, even if you have to crawl on ice.
Yes.
Another narration says that if you're locked in a box, then you have to roll in that box until you're under the banner and try to break out of that box. And if not, then you basically, like, struggle inside the box for the sake of that banner. Another narration says, and this is from Imam Ali alayhi salam himself, he said, we, the family of, like, as in the Ahl al-Bayt, have a banner, and on that banner is written al-Bay'a lillah, or allegiance is to God. So the point is, right, that this is it's the banner of truth. So if any falsehood can claim it, right, then it isn't the banner of truth, it's just the banner. Right?
But the proof is that no false claimant could claim it, is because even the false claimants that have come over the years, it never crossed anyone's mind.
For sure.
Even though these narrations are there in the Sunni Shia books, no one, even someone that was trying to falsely claim, they could not even think about bringing a banner forth with this written on it.
For sure.
This is why this proves that this matter is protected. And only the true claimant can claim it.
Of course. I just wanted us to go back to that last slide, please. Okay, so Imam As-Sadiq alayhi salam said, verily we Ahl al-Bayt have a banner. Whoever goes ahead of it has renegated, and whoever is late to it has perished. And whoever follows it has followed us. It is written on it, allegiance is to Allah. Now, the bit where it says whoever goes ahead of it has renegated means if you go and follow any banner that comes before it, then you've renegated, essentially. And if you're late to it, you've perished, meaning that you've been, punished because of, okay, so the banner has been raised since 2015. And there is a punishment coming, as we know. And the warner has come out. Aba Al-Sadiq, from him his peace, has come out with that warning and warned the people and said, and this is in 2023, don't forget. He said, look, this is coming. The punishment's coming.
It's coming.
You either recognize the truth now, or you will be punished. You will perish in the coming punishment. The flood of blood, as you can see it on the screen there. There's a whole episode called Noah's Ark and the Mahdi, the coming punishment, in the School of Divine Mysteries on the Mahdi Has Appeared YouTube channel. I urge you all to go and watch it. It's crucial watching. And also, we would never punish until we have sent a messenger. That's another title of another episode. And in this episode, there is a specific sort of guidance which basically is connected to our topic today, which can save you from this coming punishment on condition that you are truly a believer. And this is the thing, that specific instruction is for you to write on your door, above your door, somewhere around the outside of your house.
Yes.
Al-bay'a lillah, allegiances to God,
yeah.
right? That, in the same way that at the time of Moses, peace be upon him, right? The sign was to put, some blood on your door, thus avoiding the punishment, right? We're in the same time. This is why it's called the flood of blood. We are about to experience a divine punishment, which the only way to save yourselves from is for you to actually recognize the Imam of the time, take his guidance, and take heed, literally. So on that level, they get the banner of guidance, the banner of truth, the banner which you all have been waiting for without knowing, and it says what you have been promised has arrived, is here.
Yeah.
And it's calling to you. It's like literally it's been 10 years that it's been propagated. It's been, spread everywhere.
It's spread from the east to the west.
Exactly.
And the thing is that there is no excuse upon any Muslim, because it's narrated by the Al-Bayt that when you see this banner, when you see what's written with the banner, that companion of that banner is the truth.
For sure.
You have to pledge allegiance to him. You have to. There's no excuse. There's no exceptions.
Right.
Because if you don't, then it's upon your neck and upon your head.
Another narration, interestingly enough, right, says that this banner, when it's raised, is cursed in the east and the west.
Yeah.
And what do we see today?
This is what's happening.
Right. We've just had 2 brothers in Morocco arrested, taken by intelligence. The Moroccan king's intelligence have accosted these 2 brothers. We don't know anything about what's happening to them. The local lawyers in the country refused to touch this case purely because they raised this black banner.
Yeah.
They raised it, they put it out publicly, they put leaflets around the place. So it's incumbent on you all out there to actually investigate and learn about this banner and come to speak to us, because this is the truth. We have a caller, Brother Nasser. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to both of you. How are you doing, all right?
Alhamdulillah. God bless you, brother.
God bless you, Brother Nasser.
God bless you too. Thank you for having me on the show.
It's a pleasure and an honor, my brother.
It's great to hear your voice, bro. I've been seeing a lot of the work you're doing, and I'm very proud of you, brother. God bless you, man.
I can't do enough. La shukra ala wajib. Thank you. So I got a simple question on the topic that you were talking about.
Sure.
The punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how he always sends a warner before punishment comes.
Right.
So no doubt that there are a lot of people who are watching all of the shows, all of the lives, the videos.
Yep.
So there's going to be people all over the world who are going to be watching what we're saying, because now we're starting to really hit them, because people are now coming from all backgrounds and asking questions.
Yep.
So they're going to be, obviously we know that the majority of people are disbelievers, and there are only going to be a minority who believe. This has always been the case throughout history. So my question is, you mentioned about having allegiances to Allah written on your doors, so that it protects you from the punishment of Allah, which is going to come down on us.
Yeah.
And you mentioned about at the time of Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, how blood was put on the doors so that it protects from the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yep.
So we know sincerely and certainly that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to bring the punishment upon his believers, his sincere believers. Yeah. But what of those people who come here, watch, they mock, they ridicule, they say all kinds of things, then they later on deny it, and then they continue to mock and ridicule the believers, but they have taken the opportunity to write allegiances to Allah on their doors. What of those people who do this, even though they are not believers and they are insincere? What happens to those people?
Subhanallah, that's such an epic question, bro.
I mean, my brother, there's narrations that from the Al-Bayt that say that just before the rise of the Qaim, or around about that time, 2/3 of the earth is wiped. And someone asked the family of Muhammad, what does this mean? It means that 2/3 of the unbelievers are wiped. And it goes, what is the 1/3 that's left? It goes, the 1/3 that's left are the believers.
Yeah. I have something else to add to that. Okay, so firstly, remember, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what's in the heart. Right? So at the end of it, regardless of whether they put the allegiances to God on their doors or not, what is due to them is due to them, meaning that they will reap their rewards. You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not, you know, like basically whether they're punished in this life or the next life, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not, you know, He will hold you accountable for an atom's weight, right? Whether it's good or bad. So on that basis, right, let them write allegiances to God on their doors, even if they are hypocrites, even if they are enemies of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, enemies of the Qa'im, etc. Because, you know, when the time comes, they will, like, basically Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will put so much fear in their hearts. They will either believe sincerely or they won't. And at the end of it, it's His judgment upon them.
Yeah, but for them to believe, my brother, there's a time window. And we've been told there's a window.
Sure, bro.
When He rises, yeah, the door of mercy closes.
Right.
It's like we mentioned once before in our program, it's like we're in like the time of Noah. This is what Aba Al-Sadiq from whose peace is saying. We're in the time of Noah. Everyone's still merry, getting on with their lives. They're thinking it's all good, the sun's out. But there's a man who's calling out. He's built a boat and he's saying, listen,
come.
There's a flood coming. There's a flood coming. And please get onto the boat. Please get onto the boat. And people are mocking him, laughing him, thinking, oh my God, it's a nice sunny day. He's built a boat. There's no water anywhere. And you know what I mean? What's going on?
Of rain.
So they carry on with their life, and all of a sudden, the doors of the ark close.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then the floodwaters come in, and they come in hard, and they come in fast, and they come in without people even knowing it's hit them.
Yeah, like they're underwater.
Aba Al-Sadiq from his piece is saying that the punishment this time is, it's not water, but instead of water now, it's blood. Yeah. It's killings, it's wars, it's death, it's destruction, it's plagues. You understand? It's going to hit mankind, and it's going to hit them very hard. Yeah. And the only way Allah will safeguard you is if you're with His representative in this time and in this age. Yeah.
To add to what Brother Waqar said, right? Like the warner, as in like Aba Al-Sadiq from his piece, he warned about the punishments, plural.
Yes.
He didn't say punishment, one punishment. He said punishments.
And the flood of blood is one of them, yes.
Well, this is the thing. Like the flood of blood, meaning the wars and the hunger and the catastrophes, meaning the natural disasters, etc. That's all just, you know, a part of what's to come. There's illnesses, there's like the starvation, bro. Like the poor attacking the rich, etc. Bro, there's so much coming, right? Yes. And here's the crazy part. The people are only starting to see it now, as in we're on the cusp of the beginning of that whole like period of punishments. Now there's something else I wanted to remind you of. I'm sure you remember this yourself from obviously being, you know, a believer and understanding the faith, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, right? In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most
compassionate and intensely merciful, yes.
Right. And then we have the Qa'im, who rises in the name of Allah, the One, the Conqueror. Bismillah al-Qahar.
Yeah.
Now, like, bro, that sends shivers down my spine, bro. Like that expression, Bismillah al-Qahar.
Those chosen words.
Wow, bro, of course, man. This is a divine message, bro. You know what I mean? So, like, the people have to, if they have any sort of self-awareness, if they have any sort of connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they have to take it seriously. And what's coming, bro, like, history has not seen this before.
Yeah.
You know, so
can I elaborate on my question?
Yeah.
For sure, my brother.
Brother Waqar brought up a very beautiful point
Yep.
about the punishment at the time of Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we know, because Aba Sadiq has informed us that Noria, the wife of Nuh alayhi salam,
Yeah.
secretly burnt the ark.
Yep.
10 times, right? So if we look at this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, technically it's been delayed. That punishment was delayed because
For
the ark
sure.
had to be rebuilt, and on the 10th time it could not be rebuilt, which is why it happened.
Yeah,
Right? Because all of the people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, during all of this destruction of the ark, that whole phase that was going on, the sincere believers were being filtered out from the companions.
Sure.
Exactly.
So he was left to just his family, wasn't he, really?
Yeah.
So what has Aba Sadiq, from him his peace, mentioned that Allah he could delay, or would there be anything in an analogy to say that those 10 burnings of the ark, or those 9 burnings of the ark that happened, could something like that happen here, where there'd be issues where it could be delayed? Has he mentioned anything like this that could happen?
Well, okay, let's put it this way, right? So the Ahmadi appeared in 1999, right?
Yes.
And Aba Sadiq, from him his peace, appeared in 2015,
Yeah.
right? So that's a period of, 26 years now,
Yeah.
right?
Yes,
So
long time.
this matter has been delayed.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's continually being sort of like, this is part of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, don't forget, right?
Absolutely.
So the Qa'im, right, he's basically the decision maker at this point in time right now. And the reason I'm saying that is, okay, so he's at the forefront. He's basically in the place of Nuh alayhi salam, right? So Noah begged Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to punish his people, didn't he?
Yes, that dua. Yes.
Right. So the Qa'im right now is the only interceder between the people and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? So when he gives the go ahead,
That's
right?
it. That's it, yeah. Because Noah actually asked Allah
that's the
subhanahu wa
thing, right? He's the interceder, but
There's a difference.
yeah, he has the patience of the awliya. He has the patience of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, right? He has the patience to wait 1,000 years, right? Before he does anything like Nuh alayhi salam.
No, he will never call down the punishment.
Exactly.
The Ahlul Bayt will never do that.
Right?
Yeah.
So the point I'm making is, right,
Yeah.
the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is dependent on the Qa'im, the riser, from him his peace, gathering the 313 plus the 10,000.
Yes.
Once that's done, bro, the floodgates are open.
Or the other scenario is that every single person believes. They accept the Ahlul Bayt, they accept the Qaim, and yeah.
That's the ideal
Yeah.
scenario, man.
And this is the thing, like,
I mean,
that's where the people's choice comes into play. You either choose to go, okay, yeah, I recognize the truth, I see it, and I go, yeah, I'm with you, or you say, you know what, no, I'm happy with my life. Like, basically the same scenario as in the movie The Matrix, you know, Cypher,
Yeah.
the character who said, nah, I just want my steak.
Yeah, he does.
Literally.
Yeah, man. He sold them out for a steak, basically,
Right.
and he wanted to be a famous person, you know, my goodness.
Yeah. And that's what's at stake here, pardon the pun.
That's good, Dad. I'm gonna take that from you.
God bless you, bro.
Yeah, thank you very much, man. That was my question. Thank you very much. You've answered it.
God bless
Giving me
you,
food for thought,
Bless
actually.
you,
So
brother.
I appreciate it.
And please carry on with what you're doing. We're very proud of you, and we're rooting for you. We want people to come like yourself and spread the word, bro.
Inshallah.
And inshallah, we want to meet you
God
one
bless
day,
you,
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inshallah, yeah.
Yeah.
God bless you, bro.
God bless
God
you.
bless
care.
you, brother. Hayakallah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam. Hayakallah. Yeah, so the banner of truth.
Yeah.
What can I say? It is very, very clear. And this is why we have the narrations from the family of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where they say our matter is clearer than the sun.
Yeah.
So there is no other banner on earth today that looks like the banner of truth, which says on it allegiances to Allah. There has never been another banner like it since it was initially raised by, the family of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam more than 1400 years ago. And we are in a time when there are so many banners, and this is another thing, like the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam were asked, how will we recognize, like the truth from the falsehood? And they were told that, the banner is something like the matter is clearer than the sun.
Yeah.
And they were also told in several narrations that there will be many banners, and many of those banners will be false. In fact, the majority will be false, and it will be a time of confusion. And the people who were hearing this were in tears over it. They didn't know, like, how
they could not envision a time like this.
Right, and it was sad because, like, they're believers and they don't want the world to be like in turmoil. They don't want the people to suffer. So they cried and they asked, like, so how are we going to recognize the truth? How are we going to know, how are we going to know? And the answer was, our matter is clearer than that sun up there, right? You can see that sun, it's very clear. Our matter is clearer than that. And obviously with the understanding of how the banner looks and what it calls the people to, meaning the allegiances to God, bro, in today's world, there's nothing more clear than that.
Yeah.
Simple as that,
But one thing else I want to add to this, and there's something that's very important and connected to the banner, is the pledge.
Yeah, of course.
The Muslim world has to understand that. I think Aba Al-Sadiq from his piece mentioned this in his recent episode, that the Sunni and the Shia Muslims, they have to understand this very one important point, and it's from the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his Ahlul Bayt, that if you don't know the Imam of your time, or you don't have a pledge to the Imam of your time, you die with ignorance. This is so important,
right?
Because it's showing us that if you don't have the pledge and you have the knowings of the religion, and you're following the religion, and you're completing whatever is required from you in that religion, but you don't have a pledge or a recognition of the Imam of your time, meaning you don't have any religion.
You've got nothing. You're on ignorance. You're literally
so this one narration should be enough to make people
shake to their core,
that listen, who is the Imam of my time today?
Yeah.
Because the narration is saying it doesn't matter if you're fasting, it doesn't matter if you're praying, it doesn't matter if you're giving charity. If you don't know the Imam of your time, it is as if you did nothing.
Bro, like, further to that, the Imams actually have narrations where they've specifically said, look, you can pray for 1,000 years, you can do like your rituals, your Sawm and Hajj and everything else, and if you don't have a wilayah, if you don't recognize the Imam of your time, and if you don't have a wilayah to the family of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then in all of it's for nothing. You go to hellfire.
It shows us that the man who represents religion is primary.
Of course.
Everything else it's secondary.
For sure. We do have a caller. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam.
Hayakallah, brother. Go ahead.
Brothers, I've been obviously just been following your guys' work and research, and been speaking
God bless you,
and various of the speakers that you have. Now, I had a question about a sunnah of the Messenger of God.
Okay.
He lived amongst the people for about, I think they say 40 years.
Okay.
And he lived for 40 years before he announced himself as a representative of Allah.
Okay.
And in that 40 years, he had really established a lot of credibility with people.
Yes.
In sort of like a secular way. He
was known as the truthful and trustworthy one.
Exactly. They had, even his opponents had attributed to him many good virtues.
Yes, for sure.
For over the span of many decades.
Okay.
Now, one of the wisdoms behind there's a deep wisdom behind that. I think it's obvious. There's a deep wisdom behind that.
Sure.
Is that Allah's truth is not, confined to claims that, being a prophet or representative or whatever. And similarly, the person we have in common, and I'm coming from an Orthodox Shiite background, the person we have in common is the hidden Imam, like the Muhammad ibn al-Hasan al-Askari.
Alayhi salatu
Alayhi salam. And so, and we have different abwab, like the doorways are different.
Sure.
And you know, both our history should go back in principle to about 940 AD.
Okay.
When the Ghaibat al-Kubra, or the Great Occultation, began.
Okay.
So,
what's the question?
in that time, we have this. The question is that in that time, we've been told that whoever claims to be representing the Ibn Hasan al-Askari alayhi salam, that person, person should be opposed. Let's say.
Okay, you're talking about the 4 senators or whatever they're called.
No, I'm not talking about the 4 deputies. No, I'm not talking about them.
Okay.
I'm saying this is in the same kitab that you get the, you know, Islam started as strange and it will be strange.
Okay, Kitab al-Ghaiba. Okay.
You know, the same, Kitab al-Ghaiba. So Kitab al-Ghaiba has the same thing, and it's not just that the book has it, that we understand the wisdom behind it too, that a shortcut of saying like, hey, I am the representative of the hidden savior. Okay. That's kind of like a shortcut without having done the sunnah of the Prophet, which is establishing.
Okay. I understand where you're going, but like, I want you to ask the question directly so that we can, you know, get to the meat of it. Let's go.
Yeah. So why claim first before establishing?
Have you researched
yourself in virtue?
I'm sorry to. Okay, have you researched Aba Al-Sadiq from him his peace, Abdullah Hashim from him his peace?
Again, like I've only heard about him recently. Okay. So my research is very.
That's why it's important,
right? So have you heard of the Arrivals, the series that was on like over a decade ago?
Yeah, I had heard about that, and it was speculative.
See,
and it was
now here's the reason I'm asking, right? So Abdullah Hashim from him his peace, he has been working to bring truth to the people about Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, and to expose the Dajjalic system which runs the world today for like ever since he graduated from university. And we're talking like him being in his, so we're talking roughly around 20 years, right? Now, in that time, right, he brought knowledge about the Yamani who emerged in Iraq, the Yamani being the first sign of signs that raises the banner of allegiance is to God, and is a paramount figure
very
which
important.
We have to recognize in order to know the Hujjah. Right, the 12th Imam, minhu salam. So, Abdullah Hashim from him his peace has a history, and he was so devoted to the call of the Yamani that when the Yamani left Iraq, basically in 2007, due to the threat of assassination, he maintained a sort of servitude to him, to the point where he became the top student of the Yamani. And on that basis, it was revealed to him at a certain time that he is mentioned in the will of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is the exact same claim that the Yamani made when he emerged in Iraq. So, by this time, right, Abdullah Hashim had basically been working and bringing the truth and so on to the people, but he wasn't aware of himself. Exactly, coincidentally, by the way, as the Sunni narrations describe the Mahdi that they are waiting for, who is born in the end times. He doesn't know himself, and God fixes him overnight, right? That's how it's described. So when this was revealed to him, obviously it was a shock to him, but then he came forth, and this is at the time when the Hujjah appeared in 2015. He came forth and proclaimed himself
after the death of Abdullah.
Exactly. On the death of Abdullah, the cursed king of Hijaz, right? When he died, the Hujjah appeared exactly as the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said in a narration which the Shia had been waiting for decades.
Yeah, of course.
So, when that happened, nobody else on the planet, right, came forth and said, the Hujjah has appeared, the Imam al-Mahdi is here. Nobody apart from Abdullah Hashim. And he rose with basically 12 men, as the narration on screen says right now. Imam Al-Sadiq ﷺ said, the riser, Qa'im, shall not rise until 12 men all gather upon the saying that they saw him, but they are belied. And we see that, with all due respect, but he is belied. The people are, they basically, they call us all kinds of things.
But the important thing to focus on is the banner.
No need to focus on that. Like, what I'm confused about is we're obviously aiming for the same thing.
Sure.
But why is it that in the 1,000 years of history, it's like we don't have one person, one wise or eminent person in common? Like somebody who's been following, sort of the Orthodox Shiite scholars, and this sort of it almost seems like this movement, Ahmadi movement, came out of the blue, and I don't want to believe, because it's such a huge claim, that I don't want to believe that
we understand.
Out of the blue. It must
we
be
don't want you to believe
at
it.
least 1,000 years of history. Right?
Okay, so so basically what you're saying is, how come in 1,000 years nothing's happened and all of a sudden it just happened like that, right?
No, it must have happened. I'm saying the exact opposite.
Okay.
I'm saying there must have been things happening over the last 1,000 years, and we know from, like, in our traditions, we have a clear sort of track of things that are happening,
right,
all the way back to the Mongols, toppling the Abbasid Empire. But who was your man? Who was who are we missing? Like, why don't we have someone in common? Like, going back.
So we have one man in common, right? And that's the 12th Imam, right? The 12th Imam, Muhammad ibn al-Hasan al-Askari, minhu salam, right? Remember this, right? He's been waiting, right? He's been waiting for the right people to emerge, to come forth, in order that he may begin his movement, right? And guess who it started with?
I've been hearing about Nusayr or
okay, let me tell you, right?
Go ahead. Please.
It started with the reincarnation of Al-Hussein alayhi salam. Al-Hussein alayhi salam, obviously he's the one who buries the 12th Imam, right?
Yeah.
That's what the narrations say, right? Right. And he's the first believer to come, to return.
The Raja. Yeah.
Okay, now here's the key. And this is the part that has been puzzling people, and when it came, when we had this explained to us, it made everything fall into place, right? So Al-Hussein alayhi salam is Ahmad al-Hasan, from him is peace, the Yamani, right? Who is the sign of signs, right? And these words are very carefully put together. Bro, Al-Hussein alayhi salam, we know, is the sign of signs.
Yeah.
Right? His sacrifice in Karbala was the sign of signs.
And we are certain of his return.
Exactly. Because whoever denies our return is not from us.
He's not a Shia.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Al-Hussein coming back and Al-Hussein rising and making this movement, bro, please, for your own benefit and for your own good, I beg you, and I cannot beg you enough, research this call. Research, investigate, ask us, come back, call us. Bro, until your heart is certain whether we are true or we are false. Yeah. Until that point, don't stop.
Yeah. I mean, for the Shias, this religion is the Husseini religion of peace and light.
Right.
You understand? Because Hussein is Ahmad in the return.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, okay. So this is what I'm going through the past few days.
Good.
Is that we have a lot of things that we're speaking about, a lot of ideas, and those ideas are consistent one with another. The only one thing that isn't consistent is that no one is to claim during Ghaibat al-Kubra. No one is to claim.
No. There is one person that claims.
Wait. Yeah. You know from the narration yourself, right? The Ghaib al-Kubra ended with the death of Abdullah. Right?
Okay, so the Zuhur has started, according to you guys.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay,
That's
so
it, bro.
we're in the era of Zuhur.
Yes, we're in the era of Zahur, my brother.
But you're saying Muhammad ibn Hassan al-Askari alayhi salam, he's not a parent yet. So has Zuhur actually started?
His Dhuhur started.
I mean, he's a parent to certain people.
Yeah, his Dhuhur started with 12 men who saw him, and they agreed upon this. They came forth and declared it, and they were belied. Until this day, they are belied. One of them is Abdullah Hashim, from him is peace. Right, and this is the point, bro. Like this is the call, man. This is the scream that the world has been waiting for, but doesn't know it's been waiting for.
Yeah, this is the shout through the heavens, my brother.
Exactly, brother. And
so has one. So this is okay, but okay, exactly. This is what I'm very interested in asking more questions about. The sayha, the sayha, the call from the heavens.
Yes,
right. So in the case of previous prophets, Nabi Dawood, it was literally like the birds in the mountains, you know.
Because they didn't have satellite TV then, my brother. Yeah. You are actually witnessing the sayha right now. You are part of it while you are on this call. This is the call.
So you're saying that
the people from the east to the west will hear it in their own languages.
Brother, I'm very, very, very sorry to say this right now, because I really, really, really want to continue this conversation with you. You know what I mean? So I beg you, please go and investigate the Mahdi Has Appeared YouTube channel. Right, try and download the Goal of the Wise. It's available in multiple languages.
It's free.
It's for free online. I got it.
Yeah. Basically, don't stop coming onto this platform. Please come and speak to us as often as you can until, like I said, you are certain whether we're true or false. Either way, like there's no compulsion in religion. And my final piece of advice, bro: ask Allah. Ask God about us. But we're coming very close to the end of our show tonight. I do want to speak to you again, so please do come back tomorrow, inshallah. We will be here at the same time, and we're more than happy to discuss this matter with you, and try and show you the proofs, man.
And thank you for your time, my brother. God bless you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
I'm proud of you, brother, because your questions have been beautiful, bro.
No, the Ahlul Bayt say, ask until you sound like a disbeliever.
Yeah.
Subhanallah. Subhanallah. God bless you, my brother.
All right, brothers. Take care.
Right,
you too, my bro. Take care, and God bless you, man. Subhanallah, man. Like
we need brothers like this to research,
bro.
Ask questions, research, want to know things. I mean, this is what we're here for.
Yeah, bro. It's a matter of life and death. It's a matter of heaven and hell.
It's not a small matter. Yeah,
so like in the last I'd say 50 seconds, I just want to remind everybody that the allegiance to God banner, the black banner which all of you have been waiting for, was raised. It is in this call. We do want you all to come under that banner for your own good, and most importantly, we want you to understand. We want you to know what it is that we carry in our hearts, because for us, this is there's nothing more important than this. So on that note, I want to thank my brother Waqar.
God bless you. Thank you so much, brother Sermad.
God bless you, bro. And all of our audiences everywhere, thank you so much for tuning in. God bless you all. Please stay tuned, and we will, inshallah, see you tomorrow.